In 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron thought they had found a dream home for their 5 daughters, a large, colonial farmhouse on a sprawling piece of land in Harrisville, Rhode Island. The price was suspiciously low, but they ignored the seller's strange advice. Leave the lights on at night. The strange events started small. A broom would move on its own. The girls would complain of hearing whispers in their rooms, speaking names they didn't know. Roger would often wake to the smell of rotting flesh, a scent that would vanish as soon as he got up to investigate. They dismissed it all as the quirks of an old house. But the activity began to escalate. One of the daughters, Cindy, would cry that a voice in the walls kept repeating, "There are 7 dead soldiers buried in the wall." Doors would slam shut with violent force, beds would levitate a few inches off the floor while the children slept in them, and crucifixes they hung on the walls would be thrown down and broken. The family lived in a constant state of low-grade fear, which soon turned to sheer terror. The entity tormenting them seemed to focus on Carolyn. It was a hateful, female spirit they learned was named Bathsheba Sherman. Local legends said Bathsheba was a practicing Satanist who had lived in the house in the 1800s. She had sacrificed her own infant to Satan and then cursed all who would ever live on her land before hanging herself from a tree in the yard. Bathsheba's presence became unbearable. She would appear to Carolyn as a horrific old woman with a broken neck, her head lolling to one side. She would physically attack her, leaving bruises and puncture marks on her skin. The most terrifying event happened when Carolyn was lying on the sofa. She felt a sharp, piercing pain in her leg. When Roger looked, he saw a perfect, circular wound bleeding profusely, as if she had been impaled with a large metal spike. There was nothing there that could have caused it. Desperate, the parents contacted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens confirmed the house was infested with a malevolent, inhuman spirit that Bathsheba had summoned. They attempted to cleanse the house, culminating in a seance that went horribly wrong. During the seance, the entity possessed Carolyn. Her body contorted into unnatural shapes, she spoke in tongues, and was thrown violently around the room by an unseen force. Roger, terrified for his wife's life and sanity, threw the Warrens out of the house, believing their presence was only making things worse. The family was forced to live with the haunting for nearly 10 years, unable to afford to move. They eventually saved enough to escape, leaving the house and its dark history behind. They never spoke in detail about the final years in that house, but the scars, both physical and psychological, remained with them for the rest of their lives.